When someone is angry, they're not thinking to themselves they're limited by their anger. They're empowered by it. Someone's resenting somebody, loathing themselves for something. They don't feel like they are in the hands of some alien force. They feel rather that they have a right to feel the way that they do and that they should be better than they are, but they're not. But one day God will take care of it and everything will work out. And that man or woman never changes. Not a lick, not a bit. In the world, such as it is today, where knowingly or not, human beings love and glorify all that raises them in the standing of the eyes of their peers or that matches an image they have of themselves. In such a world, there are very few intentions anymore. The world that we're in calls them goals, or I have a goal to become something. That may have its place, but for the aspirant of the interior life, the possibility begins to be born in them to begin recognizing where it is that they are filled with self-limiting, self-wrecking, other-loathing parts of themselves. Most of what people do in this life is to escape any awareness of their own character through the aggrandizement of it. But a man or a woman who wants to know something of God, of a godly life, of the Christ, the beautiful Christ. Such a man or a woman realizes that more often than I would ever care to say, let alone others know, I do the things that I wish I didn't do. I'm caught up and carried away. And I'm filled with anger and resentment and blame that wants to prove that I'm right, even though in the midst of it, I am being swallowed up by something as wrong as it could possibly be. That man or woman begins to set an intention. I want to know, what is it in me that can be turned into a lunatic because of the way a person looks at me? What is it in me that absolutely goes bonkers the moment something goes against its wishes? In other words, what is it in me that can turn me against myself and against everyone else at the drop of a hat? Now, the only reason a man or a woman would want to know about that is because something in them recognizes the limitation of it. When someone is angry, they're not thinking to themselves they're limited by their anger. They're empowered by it. Someone's resenting somebody, loathing themselves for something. They don't feel like they are in the hands of some alien force. They feel rather that they have a right to feel the way that they do and that they should be better than they are, but they're not. But one day God will take care of it and everything will work out. And that man or woman never changes. Not a lick, not a bit. Because they never allow the part of them that can show them the limitation to invite them to set an intention to discover the extent of that limitation. That's what all work is about. That's what it means to lose your life in order to gain it. You don't lose your life when you see the limitation. You lose the limited life that you have called your own and that you have let lead you around the life with a ring in your nose without ever knowing it. You should get so tired of being aggressive and angry and frightened and worried and self-loathing that the mere pass of that kind of emotion into you makes you want to immediately throw everything down, and no matter what happens to you, meet the limitation head on. not avoid it. Never avoid a limitation or the conditions that produce it, because you can't separate the conditions from the limitation. They're a relationship. And where we walk into that relationship is when a condition comes, it stirs an aspect of our consciousness that lies in the deep dark of ourselves. And when it comes up, there's the limitation. Because why? Because I always identify with the emotion. And when I identify with the emotion, then I'm captured by the thoughts that justify it. And the more thinking I do, the more justified becomes the hatred and the wrong parts of myself in their activity. May God help all of you to set intentions that you can't escape, because that would mean you're going to come every day face to face with the parts of you that have been destroying you and our planet and your love and everything else that's good and bright on this world.